welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to discuss Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 episode 4. Baby, the girlies were firing on all cylinders. They were firing on all cylinders and I appreciate it. Before we get into the episode, I do want to read y'all what I saw Angel put on Threads about the show. And first things first, I was very annoyed because when it came across my timeline on Threads, I was like, who is, her name is Angel Era on there. And nothing about it says like, this is Angel from RHOP. This is her talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, because you know on Threads you can put a subject there, right? So I kind of felt like that was like giving inconspicuous in the first place. But the reason I clicked on it is because I hate when people tweet or thread or post a video and they're talking about something, but they don't mention what they're talking about. So honestly, the reason I clicked on it was not because of Potomac. It was just like, I want context here. Like, let's normalize giving context. And then when I clicked on it, I said, oh, this is Angel. So she threaded, I have so many thoughts and feelings about this show. I'll wait until the end of the season to spill, however. And then somebody replied and said, whew, the mean girl antics are exhausting. I applaud you for handling it with grace, but very much direct every episode. I'll be sad for the reunion. And then Angel replies and says, thanks sis, mean girl antics are tired and truly exhausting. I will never be that. Thanks for your positivity. The reunion is going to be something. Okay, so first and foremost, again, let's normalize adding context. Like, I think that this has 29 likes, 15 comments, and then it's sent 3 times. I think that Angel is trying to kind of be in the water. She's trying to be in the game, but she's also trying to keep a foot out. Because so far in 4 episodes, it's not looking great for her. And that's kind of annoying to me because you're here. You've made it to the big leagues now, right? So at least be in the big leagues. You can tweet or thread about the show. You can commentate on it. You are on it. But it's giving that she's trying to be better. Like, oh, I come from, a broadcast background and I do XYZ and I do this and I'm better than this. You're not, because you're here. You're not better than this because you're here. All right? When it comes to the mean girl antics, if you have followed me in any of my content for a while, especially on TikTok, you know one of my biggest pet peeves is people complaining about mean girl antics and proclaiming themselves as girls when they partake in mean girl antics as well. I don't think that disagreeing with women or not even wanting to be super close, not feeling the vibe with another woman is being a mean girl. We're all human, right? We are allowed to have somebody just not match our energy. Like you're just not my vibe. Our spirits don't align, as my friend Raven says. And for Angel, I find it funny that she's complaining about mean girl energy, because when they were talking about Stacey's breath, Angel was very much so in on that conversation and said, oh, her breath greeted me before she did. You partook in that. So when it's towards somebody else, it's fine. But when it's towards you, it's not fine. I don't like that. Like, oh, that could never be me. It could be you. It was you. It was you. And it's fine. Whatever. Secondly, did I already say second? Maybe I'm on thirdly. Nextly, her saying that the mean girl antics, again, I hope you're talking about Kiarna as well, because Kiarna is at the top of the list. Like, Giselle is still number 1 and we'll get there, but Kiarna is not innocent either. I'm just so interested to see, much like Angel said, I am very interested to see the reunion. And I really hope it's not blaming it on the edit, trying to blame it on the charges that Wendy has for whatever reason. But the way these people play around, they probably will. Okay, blaming it on each and everything except for taking accountability for your actions. And it's not even like a huge take accountability thing. It's just when you're in it, I understand that it feels different. And then when you're outside of it and you watch it back, it can be like, oh, it can be eye-opening. But Angel and Kay, y'all aren't sitting here just like, oh, we're trying to get along with everybody and everybody's being mean. No. That's not what's happening here. And then another thing I noticed when I was looking at Angel's thread account was she's made a comment like, I believe that bloggers are very much so about like in this universe with us, but please don't put words in my mouth. There are some things you guys don't know. Okay, first and foremost, again, trying to approach this seeming like the one that is, I understand everything. Like you want to be the most understanding one except for being in the moment. Fine. I don't know which blogger she's talking about. Again, it's very inconspicuous. It's very annoying to me. Like normalize adding context. Normalize adding context. It's so fucking weird. But to sit here and try and say that people are adding words in your mouth, like you don't say a lot, but when you do, it's very clear. Okay, it's very clear what you said. So don't try and run these things back now. Honestly, if you ask me, I think Kay and Angel are the last two people that actually need to be rooming together in Nevis, because they're just going to essentially be two dumbasses telling each other exactly. And I know that sounds harsh, but I don't think that they can check each other. I don't think that either one of them has the wherewithal to be like, are you sure about that? Ever since Kay and Angel were at that shop with, I don't know who else was there, and Angel said, did you check on her kids? Because it makes no sense to me how we literally see all of them approaching each other at the airport and people speaking to Angel, and then she sits there and claims that people did not speak to her. What? That is the type of, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like I'm always telling you I got into it with somebody at the bar. It is the same person though, weirdly enough. I didn't even get into it. They came up to me, we spoke, and honestly when we separated, like when he walked away, I thought that we were on the same page. I said we will never be close. Then 2 seconds later he comes back and says, you just said we'll never be friends. I find it so fucking weird when something just happens and then somebody comes back mere moments or even hours later and it tells a completely different story. I think that's weird. What do you mean? I didn't say we would never be friends. I said we'll never be close. Same thing with Angel in the airport. What do you mean no one spoke to you and they were rude? They hugged you. They hugged you. What are you talking about? I find that shit weird. Now, like she said, and I also find it weird because she said that Wendy didn't speak to her. Now, they all were approaching each other at security or in the airport, whatever it was. I remember seeing, and it's kind of hard because Stacy has Wet and Wavy, Wendy has Wet and Wavy, Angel has Wet and Wavy. So at one point I was kind of confused with who I was looking at, but I think Stacy gave Angel a hug. Giselle said hello. Like, I'm confused. I'm confused. And then Kiana was standing right next to her. Kiana was standing right next to her. So when she's telling you, no one spoke to me, why didn't you say, if my friend said no one spoke to me, I would be like, girl, didn't I just see somebody give you a hug? I'm like, I would be like, wait, who, are you saying this person didn't speak to you or are you saying everybody? But then we see in the confessional, she is literally standing 10 toes down on, I don't know where these women were raised, but if I like come to see somebody, I speak to them. That it was everyone. Guys, what? I will go back to the top of the episode at the horse races. The way Tia gathered Ashley, I was not expecting that. I've been saying for the past 4 episodes, I'm really enjoying Tia. I'm really enjoying Tia. And she continued to surprise me pleasantly with checking Ashley at that damn horse race, because Ashley is like a dog with a bone. We see her with Stacy, right? And she will drag something out. Tia said, it's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek. And Ashley, how are you trying to explain tongue in cheek to somebody who's British? That's not, we don't say tongue in cheek in America. Ashley don't say tongue in cheek. I've been watching Ashley on TV for 10 years, a decade. I ain't never heard her say tongue in cheek. She may have been married to an Australian, but Australian and British people's different. I don't know if Australians say tongue in cheek. Ashley don't say tongue in cheek, so don't try and explain it to somebody who that's their native language. That's their native slang, okay? But she said, it's tongue in cheek. It's not that big of a deal. And if you want to keep digging, that's fine, but I'm not gonna get down there with you. But anyways, they told me you was gonna like me. So what's it? Oh, it was good. It was good. Even when she was on the phone with her son, talking to her kids, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Now, Kiana is very immature, okay? I'm 4 episodes in on Kiana and her antics, and I've had enough. I've really had enough. This is not a good look. It's so much self-producing, and I don't even know if I want to call it self-producing, because when Jazzy walked in, Kiana was, ooh, 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 what? What? All for you to then be like, oh, hey, Kiana, what's up? Or hey, Kiana, to be like, hey, Jazzy, what's up? Like, you didn't think there was an issue, but then when it gets brought up that there might be something, there was a tone there, you're firing off on all cylinders and you have things loaded. I don't have people who I consider friends or even like acquaintances, I don't like have things preloaded in my mind to come at them with if I don't plan on arguing with them. Kiana, did she keep a journal in the off season? Like, did she write down all of her things and her rehearsed reads that she was going to say about people? Because that's what it's giving. That is what it's giving. Now, was Wendy being messy by repeating to, who she repeated to? Jazzy? Kiana, whoever she repeated to, that she sensed a tone? Yes. Duh. Of course she was being messy. However, I sensed a tone. I sensed, maybe some distance there, and I have beef with you are 2 totally and completely different things. Kiana is going from 0 to 100, and it's not a good look. It is not a good look, and I feel like when we watch her on the screen, she can tell that it's not a good look. You know what I mean? And Kiana, same way as Angel, y'all not clocking Giselle whatsoever. Because if we want to get into it, the reason the chin checking issue came about is because of Giselle. Because Kiana had Giselle over at her house. Kiana told Giselle, I had to chin check Angel. And then Giselle repeated it to Angel. That's why when we get to Nevis and we're talking about Angel's photos, that came because of Giselle. But they have smoke for everybody else. It's giving loserish. While Giselle is giving Mean Girl. First of all, Giselle is acting the same way she has acted forever. Wendy even said, listen, I've been on the receiving end of Giselle in this before, and I'm happy it's not me. She's doing it to Stacey. Stacey is the only one giving it back to her, right? And now she's trying to do it to Angel, and Angel is cowering because she then starts hitting the Wendy button. And the thing about it is, even at Kay's brunch, Giselle is like, you're not even playing with me, because Giselle even tried to say, I'm the one who agreed. I agreed that your energy is different. Your energy is different. Tia and Giselle agreed that your energy is different. Giselle is the one that said the chin check is the reason why we're talking about chin checks in the first place, besides Kiana. But you keep talking about Wendy? Oh, God. Loser. I'm sorry. Loser, double loser. As if whatever. Get the picture. Duh. Like, if Giselle is acting like a mean girl, y'all are acting like the ones that are so scared of the mean girl, and so you keep picking on someone else instead. No one is actually just saying, Giselle, I don't want to do this with you. Like, it seems like you are just nitpicking at things, and I don't have that in my spirit. They then start nitpicking on someone else. So if you want to complain about Mean Girls, look in the mirror. You're playing the game as well. Now, I heard Angel say, you should invite Charisse. I like her. I did not take that as Angel saying, invite Charisse instead of Jazzy. That's not how I took it. Giselle is putting her Giselle spin on it. That's how she took it. But what irritated me about Angel's response, instead of just saying, that's not how I meant that, I was just saying I enjoy Charisse. I don't care if Jazzy comes or not. She's saying what Kiana has said already this season, and I feel like what Kiana has coached her to say, which is, I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying that. It's giving that Kiana coached Angel to say, I don't remember saying that, because then she went, it's like, oh, you didn't deny it, but you also didn't say, yes, I said it. It's annoying. But even when they were on that boat, okay, First of all, Jazzy seems like a great time. She really does. Oh, another thing. Kiarna throwing a dig at Jazzy that her baby dad, or her, what is he? Her fiance had kids before he got with her. Okay, it's 2025. Jamal had a child, or maybe 2 children, before he got with Giselle. I know he had at least one child before he got with Giselle. That's not the read you think it is, Kiarna. Oh gosh, very annoying young lady. But when Jazzy comes on the boat and she says, did you want to say what you said about Wendy? Again, the girls will be arguing and be like, Wendy, but did you guys want to talk about Wendy? It's very weird. Jazzy though, please don't ever bring anything to this group or this television screen again and say she was talking shit about so-and-so and not tell us the shit that was talked. Don't do that. And I can't believe the other women let her get away with that. Again, Kay is not making sense because Jazzy said you talked shit about Wendy 6 months ago. Wendy says, oh, okay, 6 months ago. I thought we were, and Kay says, no, I didn't. I didn't talk shit about her 6 months ago. Wendy says, I thought we were fine 6 months ago. And Kay says, no, we weren't. That's with the windmilling. She's windmilling these arguments. She's windmilling them. Take a beat, because what you just said doesn't make sense. Those things are not mutually exclusive. They can't be true at the same time, right? You cannot say I didn't say anything about Wendy. And that I didn't have a problem with her. And then also say, oh, we weren't fine 6 months ago. It's not making sense, Kay. Stop and listen. Stop and listen. Stop and listen. She's just trying to fire off on all cylinders and it's not getting through. It's not getting through. And then I understand sometimes and I've heard previous housewives before talk about this, how sometimes in these scenes and stuff, they can, like, some housewives can argue and say whatever and throw whatever out, and then they can be dancing and laughing when the cameras are down with one another. And some housewives or previous housewives have been like, no, I'm not doing that with you. I totally get if Angel and Kay feel that way and they didn't want to be like dancing on the dock with them or whatever, but it is just, it doesn't help any of your cases. It doesn't help any of your arguments when y'all clearly keep bouncing bad ideas off of each other, right? And then when the whole group has moved on, y'all are just secluding yourselves off to the side. That's why I do wish that Giselle would have had Angel room with someone else, because they're all saying it doesn't seem like you are interested in getting to know anybody else or anybody that might have a problem with Kiarna. And then they're off to the side with one another. Off to the side. And I know people are going to be like, but they've been friends for 20 years. They've been friends for 20 years. Right. She didn't come on this show just to continue to be Kiarna's friend of 20 years. She came to be with the group. She came to be with the group. Right. And of course, when they get to Nevis, was Giselle's antics towards Stacey mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, Giselle is acting the same as she has always acted. I'm not saying that it's okay, but some of us have spent the last, oh my God, almost 9 years. I know a strong 8. Last season I was a little tired. She didn't irritate me that much. Some of us have been a long time talking about Giselle. Giselle is mean. Giselle is mean and surly, mean and surly, mean and surly. And oh my God, y'all didn't want to hear it. This is Housewives. What do y'all expect? What do y'all expect? Okay, Giselle is acting the same as we've seen her act. I don't expect anything else from Giselle. I really don't. I get shocked when I enjoy Giselle, to be honest, which is very annoying to me because we do share a name technically. And that also leads me to my next point with Angel and the mean girl shit. Did you not watch this show before you came on it? What we are seeing on the screen is light work compared to what we have actually seen. Did you or did you not watch this show before you came on it? And if you didn't, I think that is extremely, extremely irresponsible. I have said it before, when housewives or other reality TV stars come on shows and they start acting shocked and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know. And we ask, did you watch the show? And they say no. How irresponsible is that? You agreed to go on a show, put your life on a show that you did not watch beforehand. I'm not saying you have to watch every single episode, but you didn't do your homework at all? That's odd to me. And it's not smart. But listen, when they sat down at that dinner, oh, the girls were clocking in left and right, except for Angel and Kay. Again with the windmilling, okay? So we are all having this group conversation where Wendy starts pointing out to Stacy sitting next to her, you realize how Giselle just attacked her appearance left and right, and then she only has energy for me? And here comes Kiana. Say it, Wendy. Say it. I don't want to say the thing about Kiana because I don't want to use that word with black women because I know that it perpetuates problem. But Kiana is very much so giving that. Okay? She is. I'm sorry. But even before, Angel really did seem like she was starting to open up a little bit. She was saying she can be standoffish when she first meets new people. Oh, another thing that I saw when I was looking online, because I wanted to follow Tia on Instagram after this episode. I was like, oh, she's so funny. So I went to her Instagram and I was looking through it, and for part of the promo, they did a who was the most kind of like superlatives with Tia and Angel. The question was, who was the most welcoming to you? And Angel actually said Wendy was the most welcoming to me at first, and then it became, I think she said Stacy. I can't remember who the next person was. Both answers were shocking to me. But I said, okay, so I said, I am interested to see how this season plays out. How do we get from Wendy was the most welcoming to me at first to, we're still at first if according to me, we're 4 episodes in. So what do you mean? And I honestly think she says none of these women have, she said this episode, none of these women have been like super reach out, like supportive, trying to get to know me in her book. Angel kind of gives me a person, just listening to all these things, that is emotionally expensive, if that makes sense. She kind of thinks her feelings are facts. That's kind of what I'm picking up, even though she would probably be like, no, but that's how I felt. That's what it's giving. Because if you are new to the group, I definitely am going to introduce myself. I'm definitely going to be like, hey, like try and get to know you. But if I feel like you are dead set on misunderstanding me, you're dead set on sticking beside somebody who in the group who doesn't like me, no, I'm not going to continue to try and be your friend. Especially when you have this weird smoke for me and you don't have it for the people that are actually coming for you. So I do think that Angel, I think that she might be going through a little bit of postpartum. I'm not a mother, so I don't know, but I've seen people talk about that, and I kind of picked up on that when she was talking about how this was her first trip away after this baby. And so I was like, okay, I can completely understand that. And I think that she would have revealed that at the table had Giselle not interrupted and been like, Angel, why is this picture floating around like it's giving catfish? Speaking of the picture, I think multiple things are true here. I think that is an old picture, right? I think that's an old picture of Angel from her Instagram. I do think it's filtered. It's filtered. It's filtered, okay? Like, let's be real. And I also want to point out, I don't think Angel sent that photo in to the blog or wherever it was posted. Somebody clearly went to her Instagram and picked it. So that's why I also am not understanding why there's so much smoke for her, because it's not like Real Housewives Potomac producers said, hey, send us a picture of yourself that you want to use. And no, they have their own pictures that they want to use. I think that's a Bravo blog. They picked that photo up and then put it up there. That doesn't really have anything to do with Angel. It's fine. And what was interesting to me is that Kiana was seemingly quiet when Giselle sat there and called her friend of 20 years a catfish. She did not stand up for her friend the way that me and my friends of 20 years would have been standing up for each other. Because let me tell you something, me and my friends would have tag teamed the hell out of Giselle, and that wig would have been first. That wig that she got on her head would have been first. Cal would have caught a stray. She would have felt it so deep in her soul, okay? Even Kiana in her confessional was like, the photo resembles her. Somebody resembling me or something resembling me is not it clearly being me. And even when Wendy clocked it, when Giselle was literally telling her to her face, you look different online. Ashley started jumping in. They were tag teaming her use of the fucking FaceTime app. But Wendy starts cackling. Mind you, Wendy laughed when Giselle didn't put no name on that robe. Stacy laughed too, and it was her. And she was like, oh God, blah, blah. But Wendy is the one you have shade for in the moment and in the confessional. And Wendy even said, I love to Facetune. She said, I love a filter. Giselle said, Wendy's the queen of filters. She said, I sure am. okay? But then getting more mad at somebody clocking your weirdo energy for them when somebody is bullying you to your face, and then you get mad. She was soft-spoken, which is out. That photo doesn't have a filter on it. I mean, it's definitely an old photo. That photo doesn't have a filter on it. To Wendy, when I have a right. She literally sat up in her chair and got bass in her voice. I didn't even know Angel could have that bass in her voice. Sat up in the chair and was like, I have a right to have a different demeanor with you, Wendy. Okay. And Wendy has a right to call it out. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Again, the neck popped, the bass was in the voice, she sat up in her seat. It's fucking weird. She and Kiana look like fucking weirdos. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I am willing to change my mind when presented with something different from Angel, but for right now, it's not looking great, love. It's not looking great. And lastly, Ashley in this hard on for Stacey. It is really, 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 really exhausting. First of all, Stacey said, the streets, Giselle. Who are the streets? You know the streets. Stacey is hilarious. That lady is hilarious. I love her down, right? Even Andy on Watch What Happens Live, she gave an explanation for something. I can't even remember what it was. It was funny. Andy looked at her and he just said, I find you endlessly entertaining. And I agree with him. I agree with him. But did Stacey, I don't even think Stacey's tea flopped, right? Because Giselle ain't never bringing somebody back to the group. These girls want me to get set up with somebody so bad. Da, da, da. Well, you spend enough time in everybody's business, right? But she wasn't expecting that from Stacey. But then Ashley sitting there like, oh, you haven't tried to be with an NFL player? You haven't tried to be an NFL player? First of all, what we not gonna do is act like on OC, John Jansen isn't run through. Slade Smiley isn't ran through. We've seen these men be ran through from these housewives. And there's closer crossover in timeline from those men on the OC, Real Housewives of OC, than there is in Potomac between Stacey and Monique. Stacey and Monique were not nearly even ever almost castmates. Now they will be because Monique's bringing her bad attitude back onto this show, but they're divorced now. They're divorced now. They've broken up. So what? I don't care. You can't pay me to care about who Chris Samuels is dating, or sure, who might have tried to holler at Chris Samuels. Wasn't there photos of Chris Samuels and Katie? Weren't they supposed to date? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. But that's going to wrap up all of my thoughts on this episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Please make sure to drop down in the comments. Let me know how you are feeling about this episode, about how you're feeling about the mean girl antics and everything that's taken place. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time.